report. And welcome everybody to the European Cardano community presentation. And we start with Ben.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much, Marcus, and a good evening where I am to everyone. My name is Ben Gordon. I'm one of the co-founders of Tangent, the radical art and finance project building on Cardano, obviously. I hope it's okay. I've combined our two main proposals together for this one, which of course is the Redeemable NFT Launchpad and the NFT farming platform on Cardano. So yeah, I will get us started. If anyone's interested, please feel free to QR code to the corner, and we'd really appreciate your vote. But maybe you can make your own decision after you learn a little bit more of about Tangent. Okay, here we go. So let's get started with our Redeemable NFT Launchpad. So the question is, what is a Redeemable NFT? And a Redeemable NFT is a non-fungible token that is backed one-to-one by a physical item or product in the real world. We'll talk about this a little bit later on in the presentation, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the real world. It could be in the metaverse. It could be a digital product. NFT has to be, or can be redeemed, I should say, and exchanged for the underlying asset, which is provided by the issuer who backs the NFT. So for our proof of concept, we've collaborated with a beer company, and we'll explain and show you a little bit more about how the logistics will work. Okay, so what items can be tokenized? Let's take another step back. There is a wide variety here, and as we said, it doesn't just have to be physical, it can be digital. Right then, our actual launchpad itself. So as I mentioned before, our MVP is up and running, and I'm looking forward to showcasing our first version of that at the end of this presentation. But what is a Redeemable NFT Launchpad? So it's a platform for creators, artists, and organizations that supports the marketing and launch of redeemable NFT projects on Cardano. So these enterprises can access, which we feel this area specifically is very important at the time, at this moment, is that it acts as an alternative, or it can act as an alternative revenue stream for, you know, it could be multinational corporations which are struggling in this current climate. This is what this platform could do for them. Users will be able to purchase the digital items that represent the physical items in the real world. And as we mentioned, it could be the other way around. Users can redeem the NFT for the physical item. Okay, here we go. So this is our proof of concept. We partnered with a beer company called Guilo Beer, who originally brewed in Hong Kong, and now they have breweries in UK, Japan, Australia, and the USA. And our artist, Quertz, who's based in Japan, as mentioned, he has created 3 different label designs, and it's going to be an alcohol-free craft beer run to be our proof of concept. Why did we go with this to begin with? Well, it's more encompassing for the market. It's easier for Guilo to distribute said alcohol-free beer around the world, and we really wanted to allow and to include as many different people as possible. We're based in the MENA region as well, in the United Arab Emirates, so we would really like our community here to have the opportunity to get some. Yeah, just last thing on that point is the fact that our artists will create 3 different designs, and then our community will take a vote and decide which label they wish to include. Okay, let's move on to NFT farming. That's the Redeemable NFTs launchpad done as such. So what is NFT farming? So it's an evolution of DeFi where NFTs can have added financial utility and functionality. To be honest, this is something that we have worked with organizations before on alternative chains, and this is what we saw as the real gap in the market when Tangent was first born just over a year ago now. And from that, of course, the Redeemable NFT came a little bit later on. But these are our 2 main pillars. So carrying on, NFTs, these NFTs, can be staked by themselves or alongside other cryptocurrency assets within our NFT farming pools to generate rewards for investors. These rewards will most probably be in our native governance token Tang. So we've cloned the term operative artwork. What does it really mean? We're giving utility again to this artwork. A lot of people, as I'm sure we're all aware, still trying to get their head around what NFTs are. Are they just a JPEG? Can we just print screen them and I've got my own one? Well, yes, you can to a certain extent, but of course we understand it's to do with smart contracts as well. And we wanted to, as we said, we're creating a different approach to bringing utility to NFTs. Okay, who can create these NFT farms? So we scoot on right down to the bottom. We want to allow as many different people to create these farms. So it could be artists, it could be the projects themselves, creators, the developers, communities. The choice is theirs. And we feel we're creating a DeFi as a service by doing this. So the real aim is to have other projects and developers come to our platform and create their own farming pools. And we want to give them free reign to decide what rewards, how long the farm will last, the fees, what tokens are accepted, etc. So the two types of farms are the single-sided farming, where NFTs can be staked to receive a reward. It could be another NFT, it could be your own governance token, it could be an ADA. The choice again is up to the person or the organization. And then the second part is a liquidity provider farming. So users provide liquidity on an AMM exchange, and they can stake their liquidity tokens and NFTs to earn the rewards in exchange, but not always for giving them special benefits within the platform. In other words, voting rights, like our governance token time. Okay, scooting on. These are some examples of our NFTs. As we mentioned, Quirtz is our artistic director. Here are some of his really cool artworks, and we're going to talk a little bit more about them now. So what will these NFTs do? We're doing a 12+1 release, and there will be honorary NFTs to lionize the artists, scientists, and mathematicians associated with the Cardano network. So each one of the NFTs is packed with little hidden riddles. We didn't spend too long on the previous screen for the reason that we obviously don't want to give any things away at this stage. The rewards, as mentioned, will be paid in our governance token Tang, and the users will be able to stake multiple NFTs side by side. This will become much more clear on the next couple of slides when we show the MVP. But users will be able to stake these NFTs side by side in a very aesthetically pleasing dashboard in 3D, moving around, and will be able to what we call turbocharge their rewards. So multiple NFTs and greater APRs. Okay, so you'll be glad to know we're almost there. I'm just going to quickly show you our MVP, so it can be viewed already. This is version 1. The Wallet Connect button is working, etc. Again, this is version 1. Do just bear with us. It's not live as of yet. Here's an example of one of the really cool cans that has been designed by Quirtz. This is our NFT launchpad, so you can see that. Moving on to the farm. So this is where users will be able to see these NFTs. Of course, we've blurred them out as well. The yields will be there. You'll be able to stake, of course, unstake all. And then we've just got liquidity farms as well. So we've been fortunate enough to collaborate with Rats DAO. So we'll be launching a liquidity farm of theirs on our platform. And this is what it will look like. And we will have a My NFT section. Just to be clear, we're not a NFT marketplace. There are a variety of very accomplished NFT marketplaces on Cardano. We hope that users will use these marketplaces to trade and then come back to us. And for example, with our launchpad, be able to redeem their first MVP, which will be, our first proof of concept, which will be our alcohol free beer. And I believe, let me just quickly go back to that. I believe that is us finished. So again, thank you very much for your time. If you do get a chance, we really appreciate your vote. Here are the links to the two of our major proposals, and we're welcome to answer any questions. Thank you.
Awesome, wonderful. We have just about 1.5 minutes for Q&A. So anybody who's in? No, I think I love real world projects, and that's a perfect connection to it. And from what I understood, this is a project that makes NFTs approachable to everybody and is approachable for everyone, and also provides a lot of information for the people. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yeah. We want to allow people, even artists itself. I mean, something we haven't talked about so much here, that we have another tangent to tangent, and that is the desire to give artists a platform to raise their or present their work to the community. They could use our platform to do a proof of concept of their own via our launchpad. But yeah, exactly, to answer your question, we want to bring the NFTs to the kind of more day-to-day functionality.
Awesome. Logan.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, can you expand more on kind of the utility of the Tang token?
Sure. Well, it's a governance token. That's the main use case for now. We will be giving Tang will be provided to our artists for rewards as well. It'll also be used for different use cases within our platform. Yeah.
Cool. No, that's awesome. It seems like you guys have made a lot of progress from where you started. So I'm excited to see you guys keep going.
Step by step. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that was just to the point. 4 seconds left. You can say bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, he's got to leave us here. That's not disrespect for everybody who's joining the video later, but he's got an appointment that he has to join. Wish you good luck and have fun out there.
Thank you, guys. All the best with your presentations, and yeah, we'll see you around. Good luck with the voting. Thank you.
So, thank you. And next in the round is Juan Pablo Barea.
Hello, I'm here. Yeah,
that's your guy. Hey.
hey.
He's got an awesome project, cross collaboration, and it's 10 minutes. The stage is yours, including Q&A.
Thank you, Marcus. I will just put play in my clock. Okay, it's still running. Well, I'm going to do the presentation in both languages, in English and Spanish, trying to optimize the 10 minutes. Voy a hacer la presentación en los dos idiomas, tratando de optimizar el tiempo, que son 10 minutos. I think that you are just seeing my screen, right? Perfect.
Good.
Perfect. Good. Okay, I'm going to start. Well, I'm Juan Pablo from Innovation. Innovation is a startup made at Project Catalyst in Fund9. We are a community aiming to give services and products to, first of all, Cardano ecosystem, and then to expand to another ecosystems. We are a place where entrepreneurs, freelancers, developers are in one place just to be able to create some projects with the ideas and to meet people and maybe to do networking just to be able to get on the real world the ideas. Nosotros como Innovation somos una comunidad abierta de freelancers, de desarrolladores, para que se puedan conocer entre ellos, fomentar el desarrollo de productos. Todo esto nació en Cardano, en Project Catalyst Fund9. And we have Ajax, that he's from the CEO. He's doing another presentation, another breakout room. Gabriel, too, he's community leader as I am. And I'm the blockchain ambassador for Innovation. Ajax está presente también en el breakout room, está haciendo también como función de SEO y presentando otros proyectos, al igual que Gabriel Perrone en otras salas en este momento. What our experience, we have more than 5 ideas founded on Project Catalyst. The 7 proposals that on the Fund9, the proposal that we have was the most founded in the whole fund. Then we have in total more than 6 million votes in ADA accumulated on all of our founded ideas, and we help and do mentories on activities and collaborations, and actually more than 6 projects that we helped, they get founded previously. Tenemos más de 5 ideas que nos fondearon en Project Catalyst. La propuesta 7 fue la más fondeada de todo el fondo. Tenemos más de 600 millones de votos en ADA y tratamos de siempre colaborar con las mentorías, actividades y colaboraciones, y más de 6 proyectos de las cuales participamos fueron fondeados. So this is our website. This is innovation.space. If you go there, you are going to find which is the team, our partnerships, and our projects. Este es nuestro sitio, innovation.space. Si pueden ir, van a encontrar actualmente toda información de Innovation. And we have 3 products right now. The first one is Innovation Community. The second one is Innovation Founder. And the third one, it's a blockchain called Blockchain. It's kind of a mix of words. The community is a Discord. The founder will be a crowdfunded platform that we're going to present on these weeks. And the blockchain forum, it's like a blockchain blog that it has an integration, a native integration with Medium, with this place where you can just submit your articles. Tenemos en este momento 3 productos, Innovation Community, que es toda nuestra parte de Discord, Innovation Founder, que se está terminando de crear, que es nuestra plataforma de crowdfunding, y todo lo que sería un blog que se llama Blockchain, en donde uno puede subir artículos de blockchain o cualquier otra tecnología. This is like the final mock-up of the blog of blockchain that is going to be presented in the next weeks. It will have like a reward system integration with tokens that will be next developed in the few months. Esta es una previsualización de nuestro último producto que vamos a lanzar, que es el blog de blockchain, que bueno, ya estamos en la etapa final a punto de lanzarlo. What am I going to talk about? The cross-chain AVAX Polkadot integration. We think that AVAX, that is Avalanche and Polkadot, are the two most important proof-of-stake blockchains that are around the ecosystem. And we know that it's very difficult to develop on Cardano because it uses not Solidity, but use Haskell and Platos. So we know that there are a lot of projects in the ecosystem of AVAX and Polkadot that maybe they want to migrate to Cardano, but they don't know how. So we're going to create a very big community just to be able to do like a soft landing to those developers. Lo que estamos intentando hacer en Innovation es tener un lugar de comunidad en donde las redes de Polkadot y las redes de Avalanche, que son Proof of Stake, que son las más parecidas incluso a Cardano de cómo funcionan, pero tienen el problema que están programadas en Solidity. Entonces hay muchos desarrolladores que básicamente no se animan a trabajar en Cardano, simplemente porque lo que sería el lenguaje de programación está basado en Solidity y no, digamos, de las redes, ¿no? De Avalanche y de Polkadot, y no en Haskell y Platos. Entonces no se animan a migrar, no se animan a hacer la integración. Lo que queremos hacer es fomentar una comunidad en donde haya un soft landing, es decir, para que puedan tener toda la información adecuada para que puedan programar en lo que es la red de Cardano. So what we're going to do are three very strong collaboration dots. This means the first is a space dedicated on resolving application software hardware. This will be the cross-chain integration support. This space will be located on Trib and on Discord. The good point on Trib is that it's like you are going to have like a LinkedIn as a community, and every article or every new develop, it's going to be like saved. Unfortunately, in Discord, this is not possible because you know that Discord, you just scroll down the conversation and maybe they get lost. Then we are going to have a space dedicated to multi-chain events and grants, all about adoption. And the third, a space dedicated to the cross-chain community support, where you're going to find with a space with partnership, with collaboration, with intentions, just to do a correct develop in the ecosystem. Vamos a tener 3 espacios dedicados. El primero es con todo lo que es respecto a la parte técnica, de aplicación, de hardware, cosas técnicas, etc. El segundo, todo lo que sería eventos exclusivos dentro de la comunidad. También darle ayuda a mucha gente que quiere migrar de Polkadot a AVAX y bueno, necesita tener integración con gente que concurre en eventos, también lo vamos a hacer. Y por lo último, todo lo que sería la colaboración con partners, con empresas terceras que podrían llegar a dar soporte para estas posibles integraciones. Last but not least, this is the idea at IdeaScale. You can find it with this link. You are going to find the complete summarize of this proposal. Esta es la propuesta que está en IdeaScale, la pueden buscar con el link, ahí pueden leer justamente cómo vamos a hacer esta planificación. And let me tell you that at this town hall, we're just presented 2 more proposals. Ajax and Gabriel are presenting this, but it's like, this is the big picture from Innovation. With these 2 other proposals, for example, the QYC and AML process is going to be integrated with the crowdfunded platform, and the Innovation Trib platform. We're going to need more funds just to be able to develop this space. But right now we started to create the Trib innovation space without this proposal. So we are going to aim just to receive these funds to develop a better place not only Discord, but Trip. Actualmente, Ajax está presentando todo lo que es la parte de KYC y AML Process, que esto ayuda a la verificación de los usuarios en todo lo que es la parte de crowdfunding, y en la parte de Trip, que la está presentando Gabriel, nos va a ayudar a desarrollar la plataforma Trip. Actualmente ya la estamos creando con fondos que, bueno, teníamos de otras propuestas, pero bueno, es porque queremos seguir avanzando en el ecosistema. So thank you. That's all. I think that cover all the most points. Gracias a todos. Creo que cubrí todos los puntos. And I'm going to leave on the chat our social media just to be able to follow innovation. And we wait for you just to join, just to be able to collaborate with us and with the community. Voy a dejar el link en el chat, así que así se pueden unir a todo lo que sería las redes de innovation. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you. 20 seconds for an urgent question for a cross-collaboration project. Anybody up for it?
I think that is a little bit of time, but
no, but it's perfect. Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next would be Aya with Chemiland MVP, the Royal Palace. Is somebody here like that? Are you here? No? Then if everybody agrees, I would jump to Tiziana. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, it's perfect. I was just getting some water and switching location.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
You can still take some time to get ready if you need it. Otherwise, we just continue.
I'm ready. It's good.
Perfect. The stage is yours. Do you want to have a reminder of the 10 minutes, like 60 seconds left, or you're good?
I'm good.
Perfect.
It's fine.
So good to go. Have fun.
Yeah. So hi everybody, my name is Tiziana and I work for a company called SeedStars. And with SeedStars, we proposed 3 proposals under Fund9, obviously, and under dApps products and integration subcategory. So essentially, SeedStars is a capacity builder and an investor on the tech entrepreneurial scenes on emerging markets. So we are present in more than 75 countries, only in emerging markets. And what we do is essentially supporting entrepreneurs to set up their business model, revenue model, and all of that. And in parallel, we are a VC investor. So we invest in companies that we deem to be performing well and to have a potential impact on the communities that they serve locally. And so essentially, we've been operating for the past 10 years, and we came to realize the same thing as everybody else that we interact with, which is that talent is the key bottleneck. You want to build an amazing company. How do you find your next talent? How do you find your CFO? How do you grow from there? The same problem arises for the same problem arises for literally everybody that you meet. So we decided to spend some time thinking about how can we increase the pipeline of talents that are ready to add a brick essentially to the ecosystems that they operate in. And to that end, we created a new program that you could consider as universities or academies, whatever, that aims at training talents to have essentially a sharp entrepreneurial, so business mindset, and at the same time, strong technical skills. So the way that we do that is essentially that we work with tech education providers such as Edu01 that you might know. They're like the continuation of École 42, quite big in Europe as we are in the European town hall. But working on that for the past now year and a half, we realized that the real bottleneck is not so much the talent, it's how does a talent access education? How can a talent finance the education? We were lucky enough to probably get education. If we were lucky enough, it's because somebody accepted to back us, or parents, banks, people who made loans. So how do we increase the accessibility of education? And we want to solve that issue on Cardano. We want to solve that issue essentially with a community that is very much like-minded. So in order to make education more accessible, we envisioned income share agreements. It's quite simple. Essentially, it's a financing mechanism through which we pay for talent's education upfront. And then we sign an agreement with the talent to essentially enable the talent to repay for their education with a small percentage of their income once they get a job. So once they sign an employment contract. So essentially, it's a great way to enable much more accessibility to education, and then ensure some sort of sustainability for the provider of the upfront money, essentially. And so we've been working quite a bit with ISA providers, which is not a super widespread solution yet. So it's very few actors, especially if we look at emerging markets. I see Juan Pablo nodding, probably know of Henry in Argentina. And so essentially we talked to all of these guys and said, okay, what are the biggest pain points that they face? And realized that the biggest pain point that everybody faces can be solved by translating those agreements on chain. The process can be made much more transparent between all actors. So the actors would be a talent, an education provider, and then the financer of the education. And we could also smoothen the transaction flow, because in the end, it's still quite a bit of transaction, right? Like you pay for the education, you sign an agreement, you repay, you share an employment contract. I mean, there are a few moving pieces. So putting all of that on chain essentially helps solve a lot of issues. So we have submitted proposals with what I would consider, but then I'm not very objective, a very stellar team of Cardano natives, people who applied and won under other Cardano funds, and even an organization that is completely new to the ecosystem. These organizations that we're proposing with are Proofspace, that you probably know, an interoperable identity provider, Smart Chain, a blockchain solution builder based out of Paris, CardaShift, that you probably know. It's a Cardano native, a launchpad that raises funds, builds and accelerates startups. And Chanson International, which is an entity deploying ISAs, and they've been doing so for the past 25 years, especially in sub-Saharan Africa. So we proposed 3 proposals. The first one is about essentially understanding the use case that we are proposing with a bit more in depth, both on the technical side and on the value chain, essentially, of the ISA industry side. So it's very much research interviews oriented. And based on that, we're suggesting to build a proof of concept with which we will deploy 15 tokenized income share agreements. And essentially with the tokenization, we aim to streamline the process, increase the security of the financial transaction and the transparency of it. So essentially that goes through DIDs, through registries, through smart contracts, etc. And then we want to share this at a broader scale with the Cardano community. And so we also propose to create a new standard for this education financing mechanism. I hope I'm within the 10 minutes, and I hope I convinced you that education is very important.
Wonderful. You even have 4.5 minutes left for questions.
Perfect. I'm taking all questions.
That's absolutely awesome. Stunning. Any questions?
Do you have a
You are
link?
very, sorry.
Okay.
I was just going to ask a quick question. Do you have a link you could share with your proposals in Fund9?
Yeah, sure. Oops.
Thank you.
I was going to ask the same. No, very impressive because it's very clear what is IDEA. Here in Argentina, the education hub from Latam, from Cardano, it's growing and growing. And yeah, I think that will be a great idea.
Yeah. No, and we've been talking quite a bit with Martin from Henry, and they're doing a great job. And funny story, just like pinch of salt, their co-founder, Federico, is an ex-portfolio company of SeedStars. We have invested in his previous company, also in Argentina.
So it's friends with family. That's cool. Awesome. I think it's always good to have support for learning paths. And that's cool. So and I think in this case, the students are getting already a connection to another world that most entrepreneurs usually strive to get into, and then they already have that path and that connection to capital. So that's pretty cool. That's something somebody needs to point out as well, I think.
Yeah.
Really,
yeah, and essentially you're onboarding a lot of people, right? Because not only are you onboarding the talent, but also everybody who works in the school and everybody who finances. So like you're really spreading the adoption of Cardano big times.
And you're burning for it. That's awesome. Cool. Anybody else? Otherwise, we would have almost a, now we would have a gap. Right, I just close it here. We would have a gap now and then we would have a break. If you all agree, we can just pull it through, and then Logan would be next. Is that okay? Because I think, Tiziana, you have another one and at 35.
Exactly.
Okay, perfect. So Logan, if you want to, the stage
Absolutely. I
is
will.
yours. Do you need a reminder for 60 seconds or are you good to go?
Yeah, if I get there, I don't know if it'll take that long, but if I get there, you can just shout me out and I'll wrap it up quick.
Okay, perfect. Have fun.
Of course. Cool. So yeah, today what I'm going to be talking about is something called Clarity. And Clarity is a project on Cardano that exists to enable decentralized innovation. And what we're building is a non-technical DAO infrastructure product where anyone can create a DAO with custom governance rules, create proposals involving their DAO, and also have on-chain votes to affect the treasury of this DAO. So the reason that we started building this is because me and my co-founder, we actually wanted to operate as a DAO ourselves. And we were like, holy moly, this is going to be so expensive and it's going to be so hard to find the developers. And we started talking to other projects and we found a host of them, even more established projects. We're looking for a solution so that they could put their operations on chain and operate as a decentralized organization on the Cardano blockchain. So really, the problem that we saw was that the technical barrier to entry and cost to build a DAO on the Cardano blockchain was too high. And we actually talked to over 100 projects that were looking for infrastructure to operate as a DAO within our very early blockchain ecosystem that we're all a part of. So really, what Clarity lets everyone do is create a DAO with custom governance rules, create proposals, vote on and execute those proposals without having to code. And instead of having to go out and find developers and pay them, for countless hours of work, it's a very, cost-effective solution to implement decentralized governance into your project. So I do like to give a visual of what we're building. So here is version 1 of our product. So really how it works is what you will be able to do is connect your wallet. And what happens is because your wallet is connected, the platform knows what DAOs you're a part of based off the assets that you hold and how much stake you have in each DAO, et cetera. So you can kind of see all the different DAOs that exist on Cardano or are using our infrastructure, I would say. And then you can also sort and see what you're a member of. So to create a DAO, this is what it looks like. This is off-chain information. You can put in the name of the DAO, the description, the socials, and the logo, all that good stuff. And then this is where the blockchain heavy things get abstracted out. So what you're able to do is put in numbers and information in this template, and it automatically gets inputted into what we call a governor smart contract. So you put the policy ID of the governance token that will govern your DAO. You're able to customize certain thresholds. So to create a proposal, you might say, you need 1,000 of our governance token to have access to create a proposal, or you can make it 1, or you can make it 10,000 based off the needs of your DAO. And then you can also customize how many people need to support this proposal before it actually goes to an on-chain vote. And then you can have a proposal approval. Is it 51%? Is it 75%? Then you can also control kind of the timeline of the governance process. So how long is the draft period length? How long is the voting period length, et cetera. The other thing that you can do is because it knows what DAOs you are in, the platform also understands what proposals that you can be a part of. So you can click in and you can see, details about the proposal, and you can cast a vote right here. And then based off the governance rules and the vote, it can automatically affect the treasury downstream to send it to the correct wallet address or whatever the custom effect is of that vote. So this is what it looks like to create a proposal. Out of the box, we're going to have 4 kind of proposal templates. And the idea is that DAOs can create custom templates by building on top of these. And we hope to expand on these in the future, but you can spend treasury funds, update governance parameters, have a yes, no vote, and also multiple choice. So this is if you wanted to update governance parameters because you set the threshold too high to be able to create a proposal and your community thinks it should be lower, you're able to retroactively change that. And you can also spend treasury funds. So we kind of just put a template in of everything you need, and you'd be able to add a field that says, oh, here's the rationale behind why I think this is a good proposal. But yeah, And then voting power is controlled by staking. To protect from double voting, you have to be locked within your stake, locked within the DAO for the duration of the proposal. You can remove it at any time. It just means your vote wouldn't count. That's to protect someone from voting, sending it to another wallet, voting again, etc. So right now we have a handful of proposals in. This first proposal is really to build out the product that I just showed you. We are, we have been developing it for about 4 months now with a few really talented developers. This Clarity infrastructure project is a partnership between two actually Fund9 proposals from M Labs and Clear Contracts. But we need more funding to pay our developers to really get it to the finish line and keep iterating on the product after we launch. So that's what the Clarity DAO infrastructure proposal is about. Then we also have a proposal to run a DAO incubator. So really what this is a program where we're bringing in industry experts on tokenomics, on legal setup, whatever a DAO, on community building, whatever a DAO may need, so that these early stage projects can have access to the resources they need. And then we'll also be running a DAO pitch competition where anyone can pitch their DAO idea for a chance to win a, pretty, not a huge cash prize, but a pretty good cash prize that can help push their project along even further. And the winner of the DAO pitch competition is actually chosen by the community who holds the NFTs, which grant voting power. And then the next proposal we have is the Cardano DAO dashboard. So really, this comes from this idea comes from a tool that exists on Ethereum called DeepDAO. And what happens on this platform is you're able to see, the total treasury involved in DAOs. You're able to look into all the DAOs on Ethereum. So we want to build this for Cardano, and by just having access to those endpoints that can read the chain and know what's in the treasuries and how many people are voting, we think this would be a really valuable tool for the ecosystem as DAOs continue to grow. And then this is a really important proposal to me, actually. It's building compliant DAOs. So we're partnered with DLT360, which is a group of legal consultants in the Cardano ecosystem to do this. And really what we want to do is research different jurisdictions, understand, this is your use case for your DAO. How can you operate compliantly in different jurisdictions, and publish a research report and interactive content that can help early stage projects out to become a compliant decentralized entity. And then the last one that we have in is the dashboard of impact tools. So the rationale behind this is, there's so many different tools that are being built in the Cardano ecosystem. And if there's a cohesive place where a creator can come and sort through, what tools do I need now? What already exists? What can I leverage? It would bring a lot of value to people trying to get started on Cardano. This also comes from something that's on a different blockchain ecosystem. So it's called DAO Masters. You can click it and say you need some help with governance and voting. You can click there and you can see all these different tools that can help you out to obtain governance, decentralized governance in your project. So yeah, that is pretty much it. I'm going to drop a link of our proposals into the chat, and I really do. I would really, like, we all part of the project really appreciate your vote. We think what we're doing will really help spur innovation in the ecosystem. And well, thank you, and happy to answer any questions.
Absolutely awesome. I'm so happy to be in this room, to be honest. This is absolutely great. And I think you're solving a very, very good problem. We have 1 minute and 30 seconds. Any questions?
You mentioned DAO incubator. Is the aim to bring already existing projects into a DAO, or is the aim to support the creation of communities from 0 to 1 essentially, and structuring it as a DAO, or both?
Either one.
Okay.
Yeah, I think really just early stage DAO projects, because there's a lot of DAO projects out there that they already have a community, but they're using Discord to carry out votes and things like that. So, and also 0 to 1 communities they're going to be the change makers as well. So either one.
Yeah, super interesting.
I have a question, actually. Do you consider providing an API still, even though it's a drag and drop editor?
Yeah, so really what we want to do is develop an SDK so that you can use the infrastructure with your own front end. The product I showed you was branded towards our brand and everything, but that's really not the end goal. The end goal is to have that underlying infrastructure and create, you know, an easy way for people to build on top of that infrastructure to implement governance into their own custom front ends and solutions.
Cool, because I think that would be a killer feature for developers to have already set up infrastructure and then being able to access it via API or something like that. Very, very cool. Thank you. So next we have Kaimon Jones, driving adoption via travel apps. You're in the room. Other than that, we have Sua Helu, returning trust to global donations. The stage is yours. It's Rafael Ibrahim in this case, I think. Rafael? Okay. That would be cool. Because I also would present, but I still have to wait. I'm meant to be last, so anybody can dance in the meanwhile. Some hula hula. No. Okay. If you're okay, then I would just jump in and then we switch it around at the end. Okay. I just need to choose another background because now I'm not on behalf of myself, on behalf of. There you go. And here we are. So, okay, this is a personal. Oh, I have a timer too. It's set to 20 minutes. So now I have a personal thing that I want to share with you. And I hope the screen sharing is good enough. So, and here you go.
Hello, everybody at IdeaConf. Please call me Larissa, and I really do hope that you will enjoy my team of humans. I am an AI actress and will make content accessible for everyone who prefers or needs audio over reading. We believe that midwives are the underestimated cornerstone of our future. The WHO has elaborated that 80% of all deaths related to pregnancy could have been averted if midwife-led care would have been at hand. So please vote and give midwifery a voice on Cardano.
Hallo, mein Name ist Karin. Ich bin Hebamme hier in Berlin. Meine Tage sind oft sehr lang und man kann es ja auch ganz schlecht vorher bestimmen, wie der Tag so abläuft. Ich möchte ein bisschen verhindern, dass ihr bei Google sucht und euch da irgendwelche Diagnosen raussucht und irgendwelche Ängste stürzen.
Building a platform that leverages technology to improve rich communication, knowledge sharing, self-sovereignty, governance, and monetization from midwives sounds like the right thing to do. And if we can build that in Cardano, I think we have a really good fit. Hi, I'm Marcus, co-founder of Those to Help. And did you know that midwives could actually help promote the distribution of decentralized identities?
As the mother of four, I've seen some pregnancy and also seen some questions and doubts. So naturally, I want every other mother to get her open questions answered by a midwife. We are trying to build all the bridges needed between mothers, midwives, and obstetricians. If we can do that, it would be a huge leap forward. I'm Lucia, co-founder of Ready to Help.
Hi, my name is Marta. I am a very versatile person. I create digital assets and NFTs for Ready to Help. You can look at them, they are so beautiful and fun. I love the team and I really believe in this project. If we can make the world better, it will be fantastic.
Hello, I'm Alex. I was part of this project for 3 months, from March till June. And I really enjoy doing the drawing assessments and design. And I'm looking forward to continuing this project and improve my skills and expand my knowledge on that.
Larissa Held, is a forward-looking project that supports midwives in their important work using digital communication. The high level of safety in obstetrics is mainly based on well-trained midwives and, of course, access to their knowledge and skills. I am convinced that this project will be successful because the solidarity-based internationality is anchored in it.
Okay, cool. The thing that is behind that is actually a really personal story. As Vibke, my wife, already said, we have 4 children, and one of them had to go into the hospital just recently. It was not fun, but it convinced us to proceed the way that we have started. So the image that you see behind me is actually my son's hand, and he's got a disease that is called epidermolysis bullosa simplex, also known as butterfly skin. And the skin is breaking really, really easy. And with the right documentation, then a lot of things could have been prevented, right? He had something that is close to a epileptic stroke, and nobody really knew, as to my understanding, what they should do. And what we found is that there were a lot of things going wrong, right? They were not using the right plasters, because then those things could have been prevented. And this could have been much more severe if we wouldn't have stepped up for him. And we accidentally found out that those plasters were available, right? The discharge from the hospital and the return, it took roughly 4 to 8 hours just to receive the papers. And when we returned from the MRI scan, the assistant opened an entirely new case and had to ask all the questions, despite us being there just the day before, having filled out everything with the doctor. And then the appointment got delayed a second time by about 4 or 5 hours, while the first MRI appointment should have been a week prior. So our child was still considered to be an emergency. So the derived problems that we see is structural problems in healthcare. And Torsten here actually confirmed that in our last meeting. This is how our healthcare system is being built up. You have to actually create a lot of files every time again, because you have so many different providers and they don't talk to each other. Then we have communication, we have documentation, we have handover and inventory. It took about 2 weeks to get a result that still needs final confirmation, so we're still waiting. And we are in a very developed country, so I do not even want to imagine how this runs down in a less developed healthcare system. So how does this tie to digital midwifery? If documented well, then the current medical system allows it, then some injuries would have been prevented. Communication from staff to patient would have been more efficient. Handover and inventory could run seamless. Patient beds would be freed up faster. So I think that's a good thing. Midwives already start documentations at the roots of the life. Okay, so if we can improve their partaking and their effective administrative efficiency, we could set the foundation for a better healthcare system, or for better healthcare systems. Think of electronic health records, DIDs and SSI combined. Yet the world is short of midwives. Despite the passion those women bring to their job, they are not getting staff backup from the newlyweds. They are quitting, they are burning out, e.g. birth clinics in Portugal and Germany closing, just because there's a lack of midwives, or one got ill. They are generally underpaid for what they do. Some are getting raped on the way to the patient. Their status of importance gets suppressed by administration. And the list goes on like that. And just apply this aforementioned to the different countries, right? And the general social political environment and the economic situation. So it's obvious that midwives don't have the voice they deserve, nor the technology support they deserve. And that's what we want to change. I'm not saying there aren't strong and brilliant voices out there in the midwifery system, but we believe we can provide the technology for a midwifery DAO, then the potential can only grow. Okay. And why Cardano? Its scientific approaches have shown good preparation for estimated regulations to come. Non-custodial delegation allows staking without SPOs being a financial institution, for example. It's technically relatively easy to become an SPO. Ouroboros preserves decentralization more effective than POS or DPoS. Sidechains and Hydra allow complex but scalable data structures. Emergo invests in great collaboration partners. One of my favorites is Partisia Blockchain Nervous Network. Atal Prism team is active and has with Tony Rose a unique partner, right? And that's basically it. So it's very dear to us. We have 4 children, and that's the reason how we got into that project. So I'm open to questions. You have 1 minute. To answer one from my side, how do we verify that midwives want that? We have conducted interviews, namely Brazil, Bulgaria, Canada, Ecuador, Finland, Malta, India, Russia, Spain, and the US, right? And those interviews and reports of the World Health Organization helped us to identify the areas that we need to work on. We say we've been working on this since July or so. For real, we've been conducting research a lot longer. Then COVID came, we had a plan to fulfill it. We built up an event business that was booked up by companies as Chanel, Zalando, and Wayfair. They came to us, not we didn't approach them. So I think we know pretty well how to work with that thing in a silent and modest marketing way. But we need more interviews and more data. So if you know midwives, direct them to our way. That's what I would say. Thank you. So, do we have Rafael Ibrahim? Are you here now?
Hey guys, I hope you can see me clearly. Well, my name is, it's my colleague's name, it's not my name. Okay, my name is Zaha. Okay, so just to be cognitive about the time, I'm just gonna jump right through it. So I'm Zaha. I'm a social scientist and an anthropologist and activist from the Middle East. And our project aims at bringing trust to NGOs, global NGOs. And we're a team of 5 professional colleagues, 1 a business developer, 1 a marketeer, myself, an auditor, a business analyst, and we are collabing with the DevOps to design the UX of the platform and to develop, the whole DApp. So what is the problem that we saw? We come from a very corrupt country, from a system that is lacking a lot of organization, a lot of leadership and delegation. And after the explosion that happened 2 years ago in August 4th in our capital, Beirut in Lebanon, we thought that we noticed actually that there are so many NGOs coming out of nowhere and taking donations without any tangible impact, a concrete impact that we saw on ground, that people were benefiting from, people that were heavily injured, almost, lost their lives. So our solution is to build a platform that connects the donors with the NGOs. And by utilizing the blockchain, we aim at making the process transparent. So on the platform, every NGO has its own pool, and funds will be logged in this pool. And when the NGO provides proof of where these funds are going, the specific amount of money will be unlocked strictly for the relevant cause, based on the proposal or anything that they have submitted, a budget plan, anything at all. And just a second, there's a helicopter sound. Okay, so here we require an auditor. We require the human element to monitor the automations and to know how to build our SOPs, our standard operation procedures. And it is important to also mention that the platform takes 1% of every transaction. And as per phase 2, we aim at onboarding the vendors that those NGOs deal with. And for this operation specifically to be successful, we would need to implement the JET coin, because it's a stable coin, and it would be easier for people to grasp, to understand, because it's a huge project. In our opinion, it's a huge DApp. It's aimed at onboarding any person inside and outside of the blockchain. And what's in it for the NGO? Actually, we aim at re-giving a meritocratic legitimacy based on valid action using the most critical tool, which is money. Today, there's a huge economic crisis. Crypto is down. Inflation is up. People are, like, I know from my country, as a third world country, any third world country is the first affected by a global economic crisis or a global pandemic. So we understand the need of impactful projects. And we believe that this project targets SDGs at all levels, like any situation, any mission, or just any issue. This platform helps and simplifies the whole process and makes it transparent from donating to actually receiving the funds. And at a later stage, our ultimate goal is to become a staking pool, to eventually become a DAO. And there will be tiers for each and every donor. There will be platinum, gold, and silver. And based on the donors' total donations, they will be airdropped in NFT. And when donors stake ADA in our staking pool, the APY, the total amount of their donations, will depend on the donor's tier. And the higher the tier, the higher the APY. The rewards will be paid in our token eventually. And last but not least, we also aim for the platform to officially validate NGOs globally. And individuals will be onboarded, and they will have a say in keeping or delisting NGOs based on these NGOs. What do they decide to give as proof of funds? And if they don't give proof of funds, they will be red flagged and they will be banned from donations. And it will be obvious for the donor, because they're not trustworthy, they're not providing evidence. And this is the problem, this is our problem that we are tackling. And, for more information, you can contact me directly. You can contact my colleague, Raphael. He's very active on Telegram and on Discord. You can go to our website, cngo.io. And we also have a second proposal, because when we were presenting in previous town halls and communities, we were always asked if we had a network. So we launched like another idea under the Cardano Loves DAO Love Cardano, to research how our network and how can we gather network first and foremost, and how can we integrate nonprofit systems and nonprofit operations in the DAO system, and how to make the whole process easier. So just for research, questionnaires, gathering people, networking. So there are two proposals. And just if you have any questions, go ahead. Thank you so much.
Beautiful cause. Awesome. Any questions? And the internet was not lagging so much, so it was okay. We heard you perfectly.
Yeah, I guess my question would be, can you share some links in the chat about how to get in touch and more about what you're doing and the proposals?
I post the link. We have all the links in the in the Google spreadsheet. So that's why I didn't post them individually. Just in Tiziana's case, the link was not forwarded, so that's why I added it here.
I bet. Thanks for having added.
But let's not steal the time of not Raphael. But, sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Yeah, it's Zuha, Z-U-H-A.
Yeah. You still have 3 minutes left. I have a question, but then you still can add some information if you like. How do you verify the DAOs or the organizations that are coming to you?
Yeah, basically, this is why we wanted to apply for research, because even though I have experience working with NGOs and how to validate projects and how donations work and etc., we were struggling with actually finding the secret ingredient, if I may say, to how how does the whole process works? How is the donations how do they come along? And this is like the main issue that we were trying to target, and we want to research. This is why we applied for the DAO proposal. We wanted to uncover that in the nonprofit context, and to be able to identify it and eventually integrate it in the whole automation of the DApp.
Perfect.
I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds also like a
Thank
great
you.
use case for Atala Prism. Maybe you can contact and collaborate with them too. They're always
I'm
happy.
sorry, I didn't hear you.
You maybe should also have a look at Atala Prism. They're always happy for ideas. And there is a list floating around and coming up next as well, being better curated about projects that are with Atala Prism. So very, very good. Love the proposals today. And I think that's basically it. Did Aya come in now? No. And Cayman Jones, how do you say that name? Jaymeon. I think that's some Spanish or Portuguese name. Okay, Mr. Jones is not here too. So that concludes it for me. Do you have any feedback from learnings from proposers to other proposers? What did you enjoy about Catalyst? What did you say could have been better? It's not going to affect anything. If you want, I can stop the recording before. 1 second. And